I'm not an expert at revenge. I don't fly off the handle, I don't scream, I don't confront people in parking lots or blow up their lives overnight. But I am patient, painfully patient. And when someone wrongs me in a way that rewrites years of my life, I don't forget. I just wait. 7 years ago, I did something I was incredibly proud of. I bought my first home. No help from parents, no inheritance, no shortcuts. 10 years of saving, 10 years of saying no while my friends said yes, 10 years of overtime, budgeting, and quietly grinding while life passed by. I was single, carrying the mortgage alone, which meant compromises were inevitable. One of those compromises was price. Where I live, affordable properties often come with a catch: strata titles, shared ownership, shared rules, shared headaches, bylaws telling you how loud you can exist, committees deciding what color your fence can be, neighbors having opinions about your life. That wasn't for me. I'm private, introverted. I wanted a place that was mine, so I took my time. Months of inspections, questions, paperwork, and eventually I found it. A property on a shared block, but freehold title. No strata, no committees, no interference. The only shared responsibility was public liability insurance for a common walkway split evenly between owners. Fair, simple. The real estate agent selling it was local. We didn't know each other personally, but there were mutual connections. Friends of friends, familiar faces. That mattered to me. It made me trust him. That was my first mistake. 5 months after I moved in, there was a knock at my door. It was the owner of the neighboring property, technically my shared block neighbor. He wanted to talk about insurance. No problem, I thought. I asked for a copy of the policy just so I could keep my records straight. When it arrived in my inbox, my stomach dropped. Strata insurance. I stared at the document, convinced I was missing something. I reread it, then reread it again. This wasn't freehold. This was strata. My chest tightened, my pulse spiked. That sinking feeling crept up my spine, the one that tells you something is very wrong. I contacted my lawyer immediately. He went quiet, then confused, then angry. After digging through everything, the truth came out. The property had never been freehold. Not legally, not technically, not at any point. Despite the advertisements, despite the emails, despite the assurances, I had been lied to. To his credit, my lawyer did what he could. He cleaned up paperwork, minimized damage, made things as right as possible under the circumstances. But the damage was done. I bought a home I never would have agreed to. One with restrictions I specifically avoided. One that would be harder to sell, harder to live in. And someone needed to answer for that. So I arranged a meeting with the real estate agent. I didn't go in emotional. I went in prepared. Printed advertisements stating freehold title. Email chains where he himself confirmed it. Messages between him and my lawyer discussing the property's freehold status. Black and white, undeniable. He barely glanced at them. Then he did what people like him always do when cornered. He denied responsibility. No apology, no accountability, no attempt to fix it. Just excuses, deflection, silence. I didn't hate him for protecting himself, but I remembered. We went to mediation. All I asked for was this. When I eventually sold the property, his agency would handle the sale or cover the costs. That was it. Not damages, not compensation, not blood. Just fairness. They refused. Instead, they offered me $1,000 to go away. I laughed. Then I declined. I had the option to sue. The mediator even encouraged it. But at the time, my health wasn't good. I didn't have the energy for courtrooms, stress, and years of legal warfare. So I let it go. Or at least that's what everyone thought. Because while I wasn't suing, I was planning. I discovered his personal Facebook page. Public, careless. Photos from a recent boys on tour trip overseas. Laughing, drinking, living large. I also found his home address through a business registration search. And that's when I had an idea. A small one, quiet, harmless looking, but devastating over time. On the anniversary of the sale, I sent flowers to his house. The card read, "Dear real estate agent, remembering you on this, our special day. She has your eyes. Love, L." I imagined him reading it. The confusion, the flicker of panic, the quick glance over his shoulder. I smiled. The next year, I did it again. Different flowers, same date, another card, another implication, another seed planted. For 6 years straight, always subtle, always suggestive, always signed Love, L. Sometimes I sent postcards from the country he'd visited on that boys' trip. Sometimes letters, always just enough to haunt him, never enough to expose me. 3 weeks ago, I heard what happened. He'd divorced, lost his house, stopped working as a real estate agent. His wife had found out he cheated. Apparently, she'd been uneasy for years. The flowers, the letters, the same date, every single year. Eventually, she connected the dots. That date wasn't random, it was meaningful. When confronted, he broke. And here's the part I never could have planned. A year before I bought my house, he'd gone on that boys' trip, came back with an STD, gave it to his wife, and somehow convinced her it wasn't him. The date of our special day, the exact window when he would have been cheating, unprotected, with someone who wasn't his wife. So when she realized the truth, everything collapsed. His marriage, his home, half his retirement savings, his career, gone. Sometimes I feel a little guilty. Then I remember, he lied, he cheated, he ruined trust professionally and personally. I didn't destroy his life. I just reminded the truth where it already existed, because karma, like me, is patient, spiteful, and when necessary, absolutely ruthless.